Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom surrounded by treacherous mountains, there lived a wise and beloved king. His reign had brought peace and prosperity. But one fateful day, a dilemma was thrust upon him, one that no wisdom or counsel could easily resolve. A messenger arrived in the royal court with grim news. The kingdom's water supply had been poisoned, rendering the main river undrinkable. The people were desperate, and their only hope lay in a hidden spring deep within the mountains. However, the spring belonged to an ancient tribe that had long resented the kingdom for past betrayals. The king sent an emissary to negotiate, but the tribe's leader, a woman known as the seer, delivered a chilling ultimatum. To save your people, we demand your crown and your exile. You will live as a common man, nameless and forgotten. If you refuse, your people will perish, and your kingdom will crumble. The court was in uproar. Advisors urged the king to refuse, suggesting war as an alternative. Yet deep in his heart, the king knew the cost of conflict, the bloodshed of innocence, the destruction of the kingdom he had worked so hard to build. That night, the king stood alone in the palace gardens, tormented by the choice before him. He thought of his people, the farmers tending the fields, the children laughing in the streets, the elderly who prayed for peace. He thought, too, of the throne, a symbol of his father's legacy and the future of his family line. As the stars filled the sky, a voice broke through his thoughts. It was the seer herself, having come under the cover of darkness. "Why do you hesitate, king?" she asked. He turned to her, his face etched with sorrow. "You ask me to choose between my people and my identity, between their survival and my duty." The seer nodded. "A true king does not rule for himself, he rules for his people. But understand this, your choice will not erase you. It will define you." At dawn, the king called a gathering in the town square. His voice was steady, though his heart was heavy. "I have made my decision," he announced. "For a king is not his crown nor his throne. A king is his people." The crowd fell silent as he removed his crown and placed it on the ground. He bowed his head and stepped forward, surrendering himself to exile. The tribe honored their promise. The hidden spring was revealed, and the kingdom flourished once more. As for the king, he disappeared into the wilderness. Years later, travelers spoke of a humble old man living near the mountains, teaching wisdom to those who passed by. Though he had no crown, his words carried the weight of a king's heart. His story became a legend, a reminder that true leadership means sacrifice, and that the greatest legacy is the well-being of others.